Today we're going to talk about beliefs and how are your beliefs serving you. And if they're not serving you, but you need to drop them. So my name is Peggy van de Plassche. I'm a former banker and venture capitalist. Now I'm talking about microdosing psychedelics and alternative medicine for personal and professional growth. So beliefs are extremely interesting, mostly because they usually come from our childhood and they're coming from our environment, family, society in general. And it's very, very rare that beliefs are something we actually actively decided to accept by and for ourselves. Religion is a great example. One is born in a religion, the parents' religion usually, and naturally they make the parents' religion their religion. Very rarely do we, at adult, question our religion and wonder, maybe there is a religion would be a better match for me. So a large part of our beliefs come from non-choice. And this non-choice really are dictated by the fact that, once again, these beliefs come from our childhood. And in childhood, we have very, very little agency on our choice. But the question I want to ask you is, what about questioning our beliefs now that we are adults? So that's what I've started to do, that especially obviously for these beliefs that are not feeling very empowering, very life-affirming to me. And the first belief I decided to look under the microscope is a gender belief, which is very much about life is more difficult when you're a woman. And this belief has been backed by tremendous amounts of studies, of data over years, decades, centuries. So it's almost not a belief, it's a reality, it's a truth. But regardless of the fact that it's evidence, it's a true truth, this belief that life is more difficult for women is really not helping me live my life to the fullest. And I would say, on the contrary, it really is hindering me, bringing me down every time I am launching myself in a new venture, a new adventure, reminding me that, wow, I'm a woman. And as a woman, it will be an uphill battle for me, because we all know about gender inequality. But really, what good is a belief, no matter how true it is and how true it has been, if it is not serving you? So listen to this podcast, to this video, because I think it's a very important topic that you really need to grasp. So think about your own prejudice, and maybe it's gender-based, whatever it is. So if I'm thinking about women, data is overwhelming. Women have tougher time to progress in their career. They carry most of the burden at home in their family life. They're victims of violence at home and outside of it. They are less financially abandoned. They suffer from debilitating disease. And that is just to name a few uplifting facts when it comes to gender. And again, these are facts. These are not belief. You have data backing them. You can look at hundreds of studies globally, and the picture will be the same everywhere, just worse in many places, actually. And if you want to look above and beyond gender, you can do the same with, socio and economic background, sexual orientation, race, religion, disability. And you will find the same studies and the same data that will show you a tougher of a journey, of a life some people live compared to their counterparts who are from the right country, the right zip code, the right social economic backgrounds, gender, social orientation, and so on. So again, while you're listening to me and thinking about all this prejudice and maybe already getting angry, excited, and maybe you're telling yourself, wow, life isn't fair, and oh, maybe I'm totally fucked. This becomes even more your truth. You're integrating that even more every time you're reading a study or seeing something. And it becomes even more, your reality, your experience, your truth. And in fact, this truth has probably been yours since you were a child. And after, hearing, seeing, feeling the natural pecking order in your family, in your school, and pretty much everywhere you set the foot in. So personally, I had a lot of girls and women are second-rate citizens growing up, and this belief was constantly reinforced in my family, at school, at church, and whether from male or female protagonists. So it was just a reality. Once again, it was just the truth. And growing up, looking up at the studies, it came back full circle, what I've been told when I was a kid and what I'm experiencing and seeing in data today. So this was just the reality I would have to deal with, period. Gender inequality was a fact, and that was my life. Unfortunately, by only seeing and believing what was and what has been instead of what could be, I cut myself really down to the knees. And when I say to the knees, maybe I should say to the thighs, because was I really going to try to do something while I knew that anyway, as a woman, it would be an uphill battle. And I was not really, likely to be successful. Will I really give it my 100%, without self-sabotaging myself? And I mean, it's not a big surprise. I don't really need a drum here, but of course not. Every time I tried something, it was half-hearted. And in addition of setting my sights on too low of a target. And even a target that was too low, I would not really go for it and I would not reach it. And if I did, I would eventually sabotage it. Not long after, before people realize that I was an imposter because, well, I'm a woman, I cannot do that, I didn't really deserve it. And like when you see as well, and that's the mindset again of this gender inequality, when you see women being successful at something you want, the story goes that, they had to work their ass off, they had to, fight off attacks from men and women, and, it was very difficult. So that's all the story goes. And I think that is the biggest challenge when anyone would identify themselves as prejudiced can live. Going from this idea of being a forever powerless victim of the reality to purposefully becoming the above the standard error of the statistic. So becoming the example, becoming the anomaly. And it really is a terrible conundrum because on the one hand, this prejudice is real. We can, as I said, we can point out to hundreds and thousands of studies. But on the other hand, this reality keeps us stuck in that situation and prevents us from building a future, better, different reality. So it's really a vicious circle. And by constantly looking, in the rear back mirror of what has been and still is, we are doomed to repeat the same story over and over again. It's becoming predestination. So again, technically, yes, it is true. This prejudice has hurt countless people across the globe, across generations. But how is it helping you to believe that? And will it always be the reality? So, how is it helping you to put all your attention on the many unfair situations that are happening to your kid versus looking at the few and far in between fair situations that are unfolding. So, and that's really where I want to get at is, how do you shift the paradigm to your advantage, or at least out of your disadvantage? So in 2005, there was a very interesting study that was made by researchers at Harvard Kennedy School. So they set up a study that was experimenting on stereotypes, specifically on being woman and on being Asian American woman vis-a-vis math aptitudes. So math aptitudes when you're a woman, math aptitude when you're Asian American. And we tested these studies on Asian American women. So we can test both, obviously, and control the results. And the results found that Asian American women perform better on a math test when they are reminded of their Asian identity. And they perform worse at the same math test when their female identity was more salient. And these findings are very consistent, again, with the stereotypes. If you're a woman, you suck at math, and if you're Asian American, you're great at math. But that shows really the importance of priming your mind with positive preconceptions when it comes to your own specificities before you engage in short-term tasks or long-term projects. And that's really if you want to increase your probability of success. So for me, instead of focusing the fact that, okay, I am a woman, which means less likely to be successful and help at pretty much anything, I could focus on more positive stereotypes or specificities when it comes to me. Well, I'm not sure what are these positive stereotypes, maybe because the French tend to be seen as snob and nasty, but you know what I mean. Maybe it's about the fact that, I don't know, I speak another language, that means my brain is capable to do better math, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. You can also prime yourself with memories of past success. But that's where you see how important it is to really priming yourself instead of going on autopilot, and then all the stereotypes going to play. And if you're lucky, these are positive stereotypes, but it's rarely the case. You know, go with really this idea on more positive stereotypes or more positive specificities towards you. I could also start deconditioning myself from all the bullshit, you know, I've been fed since I was a toddler when it comes to the weaker sex. That is difficult. Of course, I'm working on that, but it's a long-term endeavor, considering the barrage of stupidities we have to go day in, day out on inabilities of women. But what I'm trying to tell you and to convey is the most important first step is to recognize that there is another way. By differentiating belief, stereotype, reality, and past, present, future situations, you can free yourself really from the jaw of predestination. And positively impact as well the present and future, not only for you, but also for people who come from the same prejudice type that you come. So when we really finally realize that our own beliefs are not helping us in living a fulfilling life, regardless of the amount of past evidence that are justifying them, we are in the best position to upgrade them to more life-affirming belief and make the world eventually as well a more egalitarian place. So I hope you enjoy this video, this podcast. I'm really, really looking forward to hearing from you, and I'm really interested in you questioning your own belief, looking at what are these beliefs that are really not supporting you, even if they feel totally and utterly true and right. They might be based on stories that are in the past. They're obviously based on stories that are in the past, because studies can only be made on past data. So really, really look at what is serving you and what is empowering you to have your most successful and pleasant life, and very likely believing that prejudice you are submitted to are reality and will always be the case. These are not life-affirming and supportive beliefs. So I really, really encourage you to question that and maybe turn this reality on the head and focus on what is supporting you. So thank you so much for taking the time. I'm wishing you a lot of happiness and a lot of success, and talk to you very soon. Bye-bye.